Hey, this guy from Old Garage. Happy New Year to everybody. I just wanted to give you an update on what's going on. Talks about some things that I have and everything so forth. I got a list about what I want to do. Going to be a lot of changes to the S10. What we're doing is um, get with taking the, hopefully in March, take care of the bed, take that off and take out the cab and try to get this engine out of here so I can start getting just stuff and parts and everything else. So what I'm going to do with that is do that first, and I'm probably going to get some parts first while I'm doing this. So this is what the plan is. I am going to have a get a 4.8 700 transmission from another S10 with a MP231 transfer case and some other stuff. So I'll be talking as we go along. That giving you an idea where I'm going with this. And there's going to be a mixture with the first gen and second gen's parts in there for the spindles, so I can put the I guess the dual pin calipers for the brakes and stuff like that. And I'm going to look for the non 8.5 inch non-02 8.5 inch rear end. I'm going to be doing that. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to be doing. I'm probably going to get to it this year. Just a lot of changes. I'm already pretty much done with rehab. My finger's doing fine. I can't use the index finger too much, so I got about as far as I did with that. Pretty much I've been slacking a little bit. I'm not very good at editing, so you have to excuse me when I do these things. I'm going to learn as I'm going until I get somebody to do it for me. Until that time, I'm just going to be do my own thing. I got a small garage. This is what I'm starting with. This is what I'm working with. This is what I have to work with. I'm not aiming for a bigger garage. It's one vehicle at a time, so that's what I'm going to probably do. And also work with the tools I have. If I need more, I'll get it as I'm going along too. You usually get pretty good deals anywhere, so I'm going to be doing that. The crucial part is getting this truck running. I've been procrastinating for a long time. The steering column, I was going to rebuild it, but I'm just going to get another one. I'll keep the parts that I bought from eBay or however, and I'll keep that in case I need to use them. But I am going to get another one. I could put my heart and soul into it and build it, but I just don't know too much about it. So I'll just get another one and put it in there and call it good. Got to make sure it's to that. I've been trying to recuperate, of course, and then we had the holiday, so now I'm ready to rock and roll with this truck. My goal is to tear this thing down to the frame and recondition it. Put OEM parts, probably is going to mixture with first and second gen parts. So in the LS4 I'm going to do. But if I cannot or haven't been able to find a 4.8 LS truck Silverado from 91 to 02 where they were in, I'm probably looking at an aluminum truck block 6-liter probably. If I do not find, I don't want a 5.3, but the goal is to get the 4.8 LS and then put it in here and run stock things. It's going to be totally stock for now until I decide what I'm going to do, if I want to upgrade a horsepower or not. But that's way off right now. I want to concentrate on getting this truck tore down and start reconditioning up and get it up in there. I was thinking about a 7.5 or a 7.625 rear end on there, but I'm going to be looking for a non-ZR2 8.5 inch rear end differential with drum brakes, and that's probably going to be doing between a manual two-wheel drive later. I suppose that's what they're at. I should just be doing it, or the four-wheel drive, which has the disc brakes, but then I even have to mod it. So I'm trying not to do too many mods. I'm expecting to do that, but that's where I'm at. So this is where I'm at right now. So I did take the bumper off, as you've probably seen a couple of shorts back. I got that off the wire. It's terrible. I'm going to be doing everything on this thing to get this thing running. The thing I got to make a decision on as I get to it is either use Dakota Digital cluster on here or stick with the old one. And then I'm going to put a 700R transmission in here. It's cable driven, so it's mechanical versus electrical on the 4L60. So I'm going to 700R instead with the S10, which should be able to hold it. But I might end up putting a better torque converter at a later time. So it's just to get this thing running and to see where I go from here once I get it legalized and all that. So what I'm doing with 4.8, once I get it in there, once I get it in there, I'm gonna use the white pipes on the stock one with the carb rolls, spec numbers for the calipers, but I will keep the OBD sensors, two sensors, and get the manifolds on, or just get the black hard from Holly that are like factory ones, but they'll fit into this. I might just get those and put those on. And they suggest I put a low profile intake from a LS3 or LS2 intake from a Corvette C5 or Camaro or something like that. When the older cars when I first put the drove his, I do believe I have to look at the numbers to be sure. And as for that, I have to look here somewhere. Yeah. This helped me out a lot. So I got to understand a little bit about the S10. So that's what I got right there. So it's basically giving the owner's manual how to operate, do regular maintenance, and what it has in there. I don't have the RPO codes for this particular one, but I found out it is a 308 all the way around, so it's the ratio. I'm going to SIP 373s. This differential is going to have to come out, and I have to look for one for a 373 gear to put into this truck, so that's what I'm doing. So it's going to be 373 gears all the way around. That comes with, I suppose, with the GU, I think it's M50 and M80, somewhere around there. Don't quote me on it, I don't know. You gotta have to go back and research that again to be sure. So that's what I'm doing. Just doing the research in here and just wanted to talk about what the plans are this year. This truck's going to be teared down. I will be tearing this thing down to the frame. There'll probably parts I'll be reconditioning, parts of spindles I'll be putting in from the second gen S10 four-wheel drive so I can be able to get this thing set up. The rims are going to be hopefully replaced. I'm going to put an Allied from the NMC truck catalog for right that and put these tires out for now. So it's just to get it running, and I'm going to, from the white pipe at the end there, I'm going to 3-inch all the way to the back and put probably a main flow muffler on there or a thrush muffler on there. Thrush muffler is going to be loud, so I don't know if I'm going to do it, if I should do that or not. Probably the main flow is probably where I'm going to go. And the radiator, I'm probably going to use a second gen S10 radiator, Camaro low profile fans on there. That's what they're suggesting. They want me to put all this other extra stuff, but that's just for performance reasons. I may do that later. The idea is to get this thing running, so I was documenting on everything I was doing, so I have to go back and make sure I got everything together. So as I'm going, I have to document it, put these bolts in Ziploc bags, and mark them down for which specific parts go to where, and how I will put them back together. So that's what I'll probably do. These S10s came out in late 81. The first gen ones all the way up to the end of 93, and they came out late 94 with the second gen ones up until 2005. These came with the 1.9, I think 2 liter and 2.5 liter inline fours. Then it went from the 2.8 all the way up to the 4.3s, and they used that on the 4.3s from second gen on. And so these trucks had the 370, had the 7.5 inch or 7.25 inch, 7.625 inch. Sorry, I'm speaking too fast. I have too excited over this. So what I'm going to be doing is really going to the salvage yards. The salvage yards are your best friends, so you can get what you can. They're going to be aftermarket parts for the motor mounts, and transmission cross member. I may not have to, but I may have to shorten up the drive shafts and just have to look when I get up to that point. I may not have to, but more than likely I will do. It will be a shifter column system on there. The four-wheel drive shifter column is going to be back in there. The transmission and the 200R transmission with the MP231 is going to my son. So that's what I'm going to be doing with that. So that's his motor, that's his transmission. He can do what he wants with it. I told him I'd give it to him, so that's where it's going. It's going to go there. The doors are going to be replaced, of course. They're too rotted. The panels on the bed there where the wheel wells are too corroded, too rotted, where I'm just going to put new ones on there. That's my goal on there later down the line. It will have AC, tilt, cruise, I may put a transmission cooler in there in front of the air conditioning and condenser. And it's a tight fit, but if I do this right, it's going to be looking like it's stock. I'm very detailed in what I want to do because I'm going to probably use this second gen 4-tick air cleaner box, and I have to probably get an aftermarket tube for it. And I'm going to reseal everything I can think of. I might have the holes that are on top of the cab because I replaced the cab lights. I'm just going to cover those holes up that are going to possibly, I think that might leak, might not, but I'm going to take care of that. The truck will be repainted, but that's a long ways out. This thing is to get it running, replace the windshield, and put a universal middle console. I could go for a Blazer one, but I want a universal one with the 2 cup holders, and I should be good with that. The seats are okay for now. I'm just going to leave those in there. I might have to weld the bolts that are underneath there, so that way it's more stable, and then we'll leave that alone. The carpet will stay the original right now for now. When I do swap out the doors, I'm taking those original panels out there, and I'm going to put these panels that are original for this truck back into the set of doors I'll get from the salvage yard. I think they're probably cheaper way to go. I could get new ones, but I'm just going to use ones and reseal them up. The seal kit for this is it's pretty reasonable. I mean, you're going to expect to spend some money, so I mean, you get them at the salvage yard. If you get lucky, you get lucky. If you don't, you don't. You just put new ones in there. It's no big deal. These doors are too corroded. I'm going to take the door locks off of them, the door handles, strip everything out of these doors, and put it onto the other set of doors that are with the crank windows and stuff like that, and reseal them up. So that's what I'm going to do. But for now, I'm going to concentrate at least when I film this to take the bed off and the cab. If I have any time, I'll probably pull the motor out, wrap it on the tail of the transfer case where the transmission at, and wrap everything up and put it aside for my son and let him have it. That's what I'm going to do. And on the other list here is I'm not going to be rushing. What's the cover there? Anyway, I'll kind of do everything off, so you have to excuse me. But I'm not going to rush these projects. I'm going to take my time on it. I'm not aiming to do a rad, go fast, but out of funding. You have to go one at a time to me. And that's why I'm the direction I'm going to go. I'm going to take my time on this, do this thing right. The ECU mapping will have to be set up to a turner to get everything set, and then use a standalone wiring harness. I want to be able to use that in there, and I'm going to have to, because of the cable system for the speedometer, I'm going to put an aftermarket one in there. It could be Excel or whatever other brand is, or whatever aftermarket brand I can get that's pretty reasonable. And I'm going to probably put a tachometer in here, a small one. I was going to put an air fuel ratio gauge on it, but with programming and mapping on the ECU, I'm probably not going to do that. I'll just put a small one where I'm going to put it at. I would like to put it on the trim panel if I can order one just for one, but if I don't, then I'll just put it on the dash for me. So it looks kind of tacky that way, but if that's where I have to go, or I can probably put it underneath the dash, maybe. I have to wait and see, or just put it where you can see it. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I have the radiator supporter. I took all the bolts off there. They're rotted. They're going to have to be replaced. I don't know too much about this four-wheel drive system because it's a part-time one. And everything, the components I have to look at the Chilton's manuals on there. Everything I can think of, I can do that. I'm going to have to look through part by part and every step. So that's probably what I'm going to do. As for the power booster, I'm going to go to the second gen dual power booster system with the whole setup with the master cylinder. I may have to put adapter brackets to the master cylinder into these lines because they're supposedly a little bigger. I have to look. I have the paper. I don't have it with me right now to be exactly, but it will have adapters to connect, so it should be able to work. Just same thing on the brake lines for the non-ZR 2.5-inch rear end that I'm hoping to find out of a supposedly L35 S10 Blazer that's manual or truck, but it's more or less the Blazer is what they're saying, so that's what I'm going to do. And I have my engine hoist. I got a miss. It's going to be a messy one, so I'm not going to be tidy. I'm not aiming to be a garage where you're going to have a spanking clean floor. It doesn't work that way. When you work on this car, you're going to get dirty, and I like that. So I'm going to be taking my time on that, and I don't know what else to discuss on. Um, the as for the editing, I'm totally not good at editing at all, so I'm going to be learning as I'm going along. But I may be concentrating on that too as well as I'm going along. But if I get criticized, that just gives me more reason to do better and figure it out. And then when I have enough money to do, then I'll just have somebody else do it. But for now, I don't have the budget like everybody else does, so I'm just doing it one step at a time and one part at a time, and one piece putting back together at a time once it's tear down. And my hunch just said to stick with the 4.8 for now, and that's what I'm going to do. If I happen to find a 6-liter aluminum block and heads from a truck, I'd be great. But I don't want the active fuel management system, and I don't want that. I want that. If it means the 4.8, the 5.3 I heard is not as good. It could be, but I'd rather stick with 4.8 with 6-liter. The 5.3s are pretty good, but they don't do as much high line as the 4.8s does. So that's what I'm sticking with. That's what I'm going to do. That's the goal, is to look for a 4.8 LS Silverado, Tahoe, or Yukon. Not Yukon, probably. They're doing those years from 2014 or 2013, so that's what I'm looking at. But apparently they didn't have a fuel management system on these 4.8s, which is good. The only difference is I'm going to be having is just one cable for the throttle body, and the secondary to go for the transmission when it kicks in. I have to adjust the cables as recommended. So I do have the Jaguars that run manual on swapping the LT 350s, 305s, and in that order from the Camaros and Corvette engines. But as for the LS, I'm learning, and I got the book on over there on to do the LS swaps. But it shows on the second gen S10s, but I'm pretty sure you can learn from that and do it on the first gen S10s. I'm not sure. So this is a process, but I'm looking through everything else. And as for the truck here, the engine right here is coming out. I will have AC. I got to check on that. The heater core, make sure that's okay. Probably they had a big ball there or something. I got to look at that and see what I said. It has something to do with the 6-cylinder system or the 4-cylinder system, I think. So that's what I'll probably do. And all that. I mean, be patient with me. I don't know everything. I know enough to get by and stuff. I do certain things. I've been around cars a little bit for a long time, but not to be a ace mechanic. I'm not. But I do pay attention to detail, and I hope I'm going to be doing okay. I won't give up until this is done. But I'm going to be doing it on a part-time basis. That's where I want to get. And I'm not rushing it. I'm not aiming to go get a quick book or anything. I'm not doing it at all. I'm just going to enjoy my passion. So I want to enjoy this to do my passion and get this truck on the road at least and put a new engine. I am going to paint the truck the same color. That's where the goal is. The trouble with these trucks is the engine compartment gets heated. They suggest to put a low profile intake on it because if you put the truck on it, then you have to figure out how to get this cooler. So I'd probably go to a low profile one and have a low profile fans in there. I don't know how far back it's going to go or how much room. I know it's really, really condensed, so that's what's going to happen here. And I may ask some questions on it. I may not. I don't know where. I mean, I've done cars on the old cars, carbureted, but when I was raised, it was in the 80s, it was fluctuating between carburetors to fuel injection. So I was the in-between, learning that from my grandfather in Mopar. I was mostly into General Motors. My grandfather was mostly into basically Mopars. I'm into Chevrolet, jump motors, and Pontiac. Certain Mustangs that you have right here, and stuff like that. So